It always gets a chuckle from me. Your live. Oh gosh, thanks. Thanks, YouTube. I was starting to feel a little discouraged. But then, like, come on, make a post, video. Your live. It's like, oh, I am. Thank you, screen. Thank you, other. Because I was doubting it. You know what? That's about as succinct a preambling preface that this post needs. Hi, I'm Elliot. And I haven't posted in a few days. I've been working, which is to say, which is to say, living my life. I'm a yoga teacher, among all of the things that I do. And in that community, I was speaking with another teacher and remarking about yet another teacher. And for years, um, this woman, she practices Mysore yoga. Just search bar it. She opens the studio. It's not her studio, but they've like made uh, made space for her to hold. So she opens the studio like 5 a.m. She's there until like I think like 10, because that's part of the practice. Instructing, helping others, and facilitating her own practice. And then that's her life. She goes home. I'm presuming nothing because I don't. That was the end of the story, and it was all that I needed for the relevant point to be made by my friend that was telling the story. She just was like, "Just a great life." Like she's just like she's done it. She's like made it, and I couldn't agree more. Because we're all entitled to something uniquely ours. But I want to say kin, but it's more like twin to that. How it isn't is the workday, weekends, bills to pay, debt. The fact that I regularly, I'm going to be dramatic and say, amaze others because I'm a 34-year-old man that regularly moves about in his world like a child. I can be a little immature. But when I see a hill and stairs down the hill, I'm I'm gonna take the grass. I'm gonna skip to my loo. I jump over things, hop on things. I regularly will have a smoke by my car before or after I arrive somewhere and leave the radio on loud for me and sing and dance, which in my flow is completely ordinary. The only thing that's changed is I've gotten out the car. I'm just continuing or starting. It hasn't been easy, but my life, I've never been good at having a job. I've mostly worked for myself, which is always working for others, but in some manner with which either it's shift work or I set my own hours or um, I'm being entrepreneurially spirited. Fast forward to now. And I would say that I don't make any money. I say that as a point of reference because there will be a time where I will have a lot of money. And then there will be another time when I will not have any money again. Now is different from when it will be again. It's not without its inconveniences. But I'm rich, bitch. The only times I feel impoverished is when I feel um, an injustice. By right, what I could respectfully be entitled to, using that E word very specifically, because I love liberating language that stupid people trend, like food and a home and freedom to move. I don't mean home to home. I don't mean renting a moving truck. I mean going where I please on this planet that is no more mine than anyone else's and altogether mine if it's anybody else's. I know that I'm very unique in this. Not like one of a kind. But everything starts somewhere. And it doesn't have to be seen, it has to be felt. You don't have to make others feel a thing, it's what you feel. And when you feel a thing strongly enough, deeply enough, if you let that be different, and by vector, which is to say direction, which is to convey uh, emotion, you can connect to a truth that is universal and transcends space and time. And I really do mean that. but don't make it complicated. It transcends space and time because it's always true and always beautiful. And so it's not an absolute, but an ultimate aim of like source creation, universe, aliveness, all of this stuff. Then the universe conspires to facilitate itself using you as a channel. And there's a reason that most people aren't that free to themselves, because they're exercising a different kind of freedom. If I were to make my own judgment, which I'm entitled to, it would be a more limited freedom. But in their own experience, it offers something, because we're all living to maximize loving. And we each of us value our own facet of what that means. Not everybody's the same. Some people love better. But everybody eventually becomes the best lover. We're just not all doing it at the same time. And to endeavor this level of freedom is to insist on it in a world that is predicated on destroying people like us. Because people like us destroy that world. And before I make of myself a martyr, make us. And not all of us, because some people watching are not that person. Most actually, I would say, are employing some limited sense of their own freedom. And I say limited, not as my judgment. Before it was, but now it's not. I mean, limited by your own appreciation, where you're seeing how you wish something was different, that you could do something different. And you're limited by something. I don't know, I don't want to digress too much. Just like everybody becomes the best lover, everybody's like the worst lover first, in a way. Kinda. Progress, baby. You know? Before I was unlimited, I was limited. And to become unlimited takes the support of the world. If the world is my if the world is my body, my freedom is my hand. And the whole body facilitates this reaching of freedom that I have attained. Now, what's that stupid saying? Something about idle hands and right hand not knowing what the left hand doing. Some stupid. But going back to the importance of feeling, I don't have to broadcast here. I'm free. I don't even really have to go outside. Although the more you share yourself with others, uh, the more your gifts, the more easily your gifts are shared. But it's really not necessary. When you uh, employ emotional mastery, which is a practice, and super rare. Like right now, if you are thinking you're you've got emotional mastery, you don't. If, like myself, even what you witness in the moments that I said that, you maybe believe you do, but started seeking ways in which you're not, then you might be. And if you never do something, if you never act out with your feelings in a way that you would do differently, I'm bordering regret. Then you might you probably you're probably emotionally mastered. Like I wrath with the best of them. On the outside, it might I can look uh, fad word warning uh, triggered or reactive, but that's just because I'm quick and I trust myself and I know how I feel. And emotional mastery doesn't mean being uh, a doormat, a statue, some idiotic posture of serenity. Serenity is my wicked smile. I could go on, but that's what this uh, channel aims in its relevancy. Not to instruct shit. I'm a teacher. And to be frank, because my grandpa just called me, that's his name. I remember that laugh. Frankly. Ooh. I spent a lot of time driving today, some little stuff. Frankly, I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Aiming, relevancy. Oh yeah, I use every my like world class skill, and you can know that in your own like best developed skills if you're world class. 7 billion people in the world. 1 billion is what, 10%, 7%. I don't know. It's So world class, be 5%, top 5%. You can be world class at something. I basically use all my expertise to decidedly not teach, because this is not a teaching platform. Teaching is questions. Teaching is asking questions. And then when like a learning person has a question for a person in a teaching role who's also a learning person, they answer with a question. I'll just say simply, because all I mean is the world is like rife with pithy truisms that rob us of our simplicity and our complexity. But you are your only teacher. We could be teaching our young that instead of the ABCs, instead of colors. And it could be that simply accepted instead of a cliche. And part of what this channel aims to be in its relevancy is a forum, not so much for conversation, because YouTube hates that, but I'll do the talking. We'll do the laughing. And in my exploration of questions, of questing, less do I desire to spark yours, and more I aim for congruency, for community, so that you hear in my expertise whereas your expertise may lay in an altogether different skill than communicating. But you're no less brilliant. That we can share resonance. More simply, you can just it's like, oh fuck, I'm not alone. And I've always wondered that. I kind of thought so too. As well, using that example of ABC's colors, and you're your own teacher, darling. There's a reason that our children aren't taught that. I aim to be uncomfortable because because all of the moving targets make people feel uncomfortable for now. I don't really try. I know people that do that. It's like it's so assholey. Like you're just saying something kind of rude or mean or or dramatic or whatever, just to get a rub. And I never do that. But Everything you think you know about the world is a lie. And that's the truth. And I can say that approaching absolutely, but not, but close, because of my use of think. Not that knowing is without thinking, but exclusively thinking uh, is never knowing. And everything you think you know about the world is a lie. And it's been to our detriment. And there are freedom fighters. And maybe, depending on when this is being watched, uh, I suspect that anybody watching now is a freedom fighter. But our fight, our fighting that's over, most people never know. People talk a lot about wanting to change the world. I've arrived precisely where I am in my life because I've only ever tried to do that. Not as some like hero complex, but as a child, my world started small. And my aim has always stayed the same, just to be happy. My happiness could never exclude people that I care about not being happy. So that's the world's a lot larger than I ever thought possible. And changing it, uh, that much more accessible than I thought possible. But everything you know is a lie about the world, culture, history. And what I mean now is the way all of this actually works is uh, relatable to thoughts becoming things, but like way more literal than you've ever been led to believe possible. And we've changed the world for the better because we're still alive this time. And if you don't know it, certainly as I do, it's only a yet. But that victory will be unfamiliar to a lot of good people. And a lot of good people have been taught erroneously to be unfriendly to unfamiliar. And because thoughts make things, I'm just keeping it super cheesy / literal. Even as evil flounders, and if you don't believe in evil, you just need to relax / examine what you mean by evil. Because you can believe anything. You're the meaning maker. And in case everything I say sounds merely psychological, if that inhibits your sense of freedom, don't let it. Because it's wrong. But trust that despite the one way street of this screen, I'm listening to you. So part of my own responses, like surprise to me, is in response to someone reckoning in that manner. That's not possible. Challenge possibility. Like everything you know about this world is a lie. Look at the world. It sucks. Can you imagine a better world? Like just imagine it, just right now. No, like don't use a world you've thought of before. Just right now. Imagine a world where you've changed anything or everything, but it's like reasonable and it doesn't suck as hard as this world does. See how easy that was? If you can do it, and I can do it, and we can do it, then it must suck this bad on purpose. Evil always dies. But evil also always lies. And when good people uh, believe in deception, then the deceived become alive. So part of my aim of this channel is to form a consensus. Like I said earlier, just like me too, but potently and with purpose. Because I know a bunch of truth, but I don't need to say any of it. I just need to be myself. And all the shit that I know, I'm telling you right now. And if you want to know the details, you just gotta ask. I keep no secrets. But I'm also just not going to tell you stuff because that's irresponsible. I aim to be an example of it being okay to be different. Be an example of it being okay to be different, and that difference makes us like each other. Not like, because we already do that, but I mean similar. Like my pausing to think and intuit, really to listen to myself and to everyone. It's not common in viewing. Patience isn't common. I'll close with something time urgent and earned by watching the whole thing, which I always aspire to do. Leave a little jewel, a little nugget of summary for those that aren't looking for a 5-minute answer, but better questions for themselves. Everything has changed way faster than like the opposition could even believe possible. And as a result, there will be a frantic, frenetic hurrying to explain what has been previously conditioned to be unexplainable. I aim to example fearlessness. And if you check my description, there's a resource. It's very explicit. It's like the Fearless Life Guide. That's very good. Because right now, emotional mastery is what it takes to feel alive and to make a difference and to enter love. Emotional mastery and fearlessness are the same. And there will be a lot of fear. Because fear is rooted in not asking. You're never afraid in the moment of the scary thing. You're dealing with it. You can say you're afraid of a thing, speaking about it hypothetically, but you're not afraid. It's only when you feel like you got to deal with it or it's going to deal with you that fear creeps in. And that lack of presence lends it towards emotional subservience. Because I'm loath to call fear an emotion. Because fear doesn't move you. And it's not natural. In our better world, we'll redefine fear to mean like, I'm about to jump off a cliff into some water. I'm pretty sure I'll be safe, but fuck, it's scary. Ah, that's fear. But I dealt with something kind of emotionally full. I want to say potent, but I feel like I've said potent like 18 times already. Potent. And I don't want to talk about it. It's a good thing. But it was still hard. And my mother asked me, or didn't ask me, because she was afraid that I wouldn't want to talk about it. Or you're afraid to hurt someone's feelings. You're afraid to say what you mean. You're afraid to speak up. You're afraid to shut up. Those aren't fears. Those are all attributions of slavery. And I aim to break chains. Thank you for joining me. Like for this cast, but like with everything. It's a good team we're on. I love you. That's our team's motto. It means the same thing as when anybody else says it. We just say it more often. And to the many more, all of us, who deserve to hear that truth. When it sounds like I might be talking to someone that's not you, because he really means that, whoever he's talking to. Everyone you say I love to, there's only one I love you. Just like only one sunrise at a time. But they're never the same. And they're never the same to two people watching it at the same time. And I'm saying that, someone who knows the extent to which soul's confined perceptual congruency, but I maintain never. Because when you watch a sunrise with someone else, you see the sunrise in them and they see the sunrise in you. And that's what makes it different. But always the same, I love you. Until again. Namaste. I love you too.